The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
Hello, this is Patty Hunter on Patty's Page. Today's guest is
Silas McCulford,
and you're with
Advocates for Justice.
why are we here at Planned Parenthood area?
We are here as part of a national protest of Planned Parenthood, protesting their involvement with the fetal body parts scandal, and protesting to release David Daleiden.
David Daleiden is he in jail?
No, we're asking that charges be dropped against him. He's been bailed out of jail, but he still has charges on him at this point.
So we're here basically Planned Parenthood is over there, and we're here to protest against all babies that are being aborted or baby parts being sold. So thank you, sir.
Well, we are protesting Planned Parenthood. So last summer, Center for Medical Progress released some videos, and there's been a lot of debate and contention over those, whether or not they're actually legitimate, which both of the forensic analysis said yes, they are legitimate. There was a panel review in the House on Wednesday that decided that the evidence was actually there, that maybe 1 in 5 clinics even, operated by Planned Parenthood, were selling fetal body parts and selling them for a profit because they weren't paying anything off of their bottom line. So any money coming in would be a profit to them. So that's part of why we're here. Also because of how Planned Parenthood has been treating David Daleiden, who is behind those videos, did the sting operation for those, that his treatment really has been unlawful. And so that's part of the reason why we're protesting here today as well.
I know, I'm just my stuff here so I can zip up.
A lot of people are turning out.
Yeah, I teach New Testament, and the church has got to be active. So all of these young men are going to go out to congregations throughout the nation, and my prayer is that there'll be pro-life leaders wherever they go in every state in the union and throughout the world.
What about churches now? Now that they already have pastors who are Lutheran or whatever denomination, how can we get through to them to help their own congregation who,
Well, we're working with not just the Lutheran churches, that's what I am, a Lutheran, but we're working with the Catholics, with the evangelicals. We'll take whoever we can get and make friendships. And Shepherds United is part of that, and it's absolutely wonderful. Pastors from all different groups. But it begins locally. It begins at every congregation. It begins when pastors preach about it and we encourage one another. I think that's important.
I think that is very important for all churches, even synagogues, rabbis, Muslims, Christians. We should teach our people abortion is wrong. It is killing our own children. And I don't understand why they're doing that in the first place.
Yeah, abortion's wrong because we love children. And
They don't.
I mean, we all recognize that. It's we've got to wake up that feeling, that sentiment. People know it's wrong. People know that children matter. And we've got to prick their consciences and let them see again what they know deep down in their heart.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
Hey, keep up the good work, Patty.
So you're here because
I wanted to support the students who organized this event that exposes Planned Parenthood as the largest abortion provider in the country. We're here on the site of the Planned Parenthood facility in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and while they don't do abortions here, they are part of the network and refer women from Fort Wayne to other places to have an abortion.
South Bend, is that close?
South Bend is close. That was never a Planned Parenthood facility.
Well, that's where the abortion were. So how many Planned Parenthood buildings are here in Indiana?
In Indiana, there are 23. 4 of them provide abortions and Birch is satellite offices.
And what's this one here?
This is a satellite office.
Okay, so they refer young ladies or whoever to go somewhere else.
One of their Planned Parenthood facilities that does provide abortions that they would stay in. God bless.
We are standing with thousands of other pro-life people across the country to stand up for the preborn and to speak out against those who seek to destroy the most innocent and defenseless among us. When we make the claim Planned Parenthood should not be supported because they perform abortions, or abortion is wrong, it is not uncommon to hear someone reply, don't like Planned Parenthood, don't use their services, or don't like abortion, don't have one. However, these counter statements reveal that the person has mischaracterized our assertions. In what way? By turning our objective claims into subjective claims, making our statements that would be binding on all people merely our personal preferences. Such retorts mischaracterize our objective claims as opinions, and thus abortion is wrong becomes equivalent to I don't like Brussels sprouts. Imagine me responding to a civil rights activist denouncing slavery by saying, don't like slavery, don't own a slave. Or to a social worker condemning child abuse, don't like child abuse, don't abuse your kids. It would be clear to this activist and to the social worker that I had misunderstood the kind of claim that they were making, and that first we may need to discuss the nature of truth, whether it is objective or subjective, before they defend their assertions. As advocates for the preborn, we must personally understand the nature of moral truth and help those with whom we are speaking understand it as well. We will be unsuccessful in defending the rights of the preborn if at the end of our defense, people simply mislabel our claims and arguments as preferences and walk away thinking that the rightness or wrongness of abortion depends on the person rather than on abortion itself. So how do we bring clarity to the nature of morality? One strategy is to ask questions, which help people think through and process the claims they are making and reveal underlying assumptions and consequences of the view. Recently, I talked with a young man named Wayne. Wayne said that he personally was against abortion, but that he thought it was a woman's choice. So I asked him, what do you mean by a woman's choice? He said he personally thought abortion was wrong, but that he couldn't force that view on other people. Rather, it should be left up to each woman to decide whether or not it was wrong. So I asked him what he thought about women choosing to kill their newborns and whether the same reasoning applied to that situation. He said no, and then we were able to establish that objective moral truth does exist, and from there I was able to show that I was making an objective truth claim about abortion and then defended my claim that abortion was objectively wrong using science and philosophy. As we stand against Planned Parenthood, an organization that kills over 330,000 preborn babies each year, and as we advocate for equality for the preborn, let's prepare to help others understand the nature of moral truth and the objective claims we are making. We are not anti-abortion because we don't like it or because it doesn't make us feel good. We are anti-abortion because we think it is universally wrong to intentionally kill an innocent human being.
Very well said. As you all well know, last year the nation was shocked at David Deladen's release of several videos revealing Planned Parenthood to be involved in the illegal activity of selling baby body parts. Apparently it is not enough to profit from the killing of innocent children. Planned Parenthood will not rest until every conceivable injustice and every possible cruelty is committed against the innocent child. Death itself brings her no relief from their relentless violence. Surely these undeniable revelations would cause us at this point to insist on justice for Planned Parenthood, and that is what many have assumed, and that is what we have all hoped for. But we woke up one morning and we found ourselves in the midst of a great moral reversal. Down was up, night was day, and it's by no means the first time in history. Isaiah the prophet declared, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness." The realists among us have come to expect nothing nobler from men who trade in darkness and falsehood. From the beginning of civilization, evil has masqueraded as good, and necessarily so. For indeed, its success depends upon its skill in deception. And while evil masquerades as good, good has suffered every derision and attack. We should have all come to expect it. But take heart, that's why the courts exist. Our institutions of justice, will they not sort all this out and make everything right? I need remind no one that our courts are responsible for introducing the national scourge of legalized child killing to begin with. And so now we seem to find ourselves further into this moral reversal than we ever expected to be. Not only are the guilty acquitted, worse, for the crime of shining the light of truth into the dark corners of death, the innocent are persecuted. Must we now accept it, that heinous crimes go unpunished? Must we shrug at the persecution of the righteous by those entrusted with justice? Must we accept these conditions? The institutional moral reversal in which the unspeakable evil of butchering children like poultry and selling their hearts and livers in little hands is rewarded with public funding, while exposing it brings retribution. Will we accept it? And let me presume to speak for all of us, we will not. We will not because we cannot. Nor shall we ever but demand justice. So I say to all who listen in from the outside, do not expect silence from us. Do not expect the passage of time will erode our voices or our moral resolve. We will continue to demand that Planned Parenthood and all its partners be brought to justice and prosecuted for their crimes against humanity. We will continue to demand state and federal legislators withdraw all public funding from Planned Parenthood, even as we seek to install from the top down, from the White House to the State House, leaders possessed of courage and moral clarity. And we demand that Texas and pending states drop all charges against investigative journalist David Deladen, his associates, and the Center for Medical Progress. May justice prevail. Thank you.
That's right.
Shift that a little. Hi, I'm Abigail Eschelbach with Allen County Right to Life. We're living in a strange time. Lies are being peddled as truths, and I suppose that isn't new. But then the lies are exposed as such, and I would expect, as I think all of you would, that the liar would lose their friends. That's not been the case with Planned Parenthood, at least not thus far. On Wednesday, the House Energy and Commerce Committee's Select Investigative Panel had a hearing following an examination of fetal tissue research, which involved Planned Parenthood. The investigation and panel, as you know, were prompted by the videos from the Center of Medical Progress. The hearing's video is 3 hours long and in some places very hard to listen to. The first hour is made up of Democratic representatives, Schakowsky and DeGetti, trying to discount the materials used as exhibits in the hearing.
Schakowsky at one point says, Mr. Dalyden's videos are not accurate or reliable, and they do not show the unlawful sale of fetal tissue. And then she talks at some length expounding on that statement. Naturally, I was curious to see if that statement was rooted in fact, so I Googled it. I found an article at Breitbart.com which quoted Fusion GPS, the company Planned Parenthood hired to do a forensic analysis of the, quote, highly edited and highly manipulative videos put out by David Dalyden. The article reads, the first analysis was performed in mid-August at the behest of Planned Parenthood that hired Fusion GPS, the company of a Democratic operative. Though the report found multiple edits to the videos, the analysis did not reveal widespread evidence of substantive video manipulation. A second forensic analysis done on the raw footage by Coal Fire Systems Incorporated also indicates that the video recordings are authentic and show no evidence of manipulation or editing. One might ask then, why would Representative Schakowsky and her colleagues cling to the position that Mr. Dalyden's videos are not accurate or reliable? Enter Newsbusters. An article published on their website in November of this past year starts like this. It's called Following the Money Trail, and the media should do more of it. The article then proceeds to expose a tie between the Democratic representatives appointed to that select investigative panel, whose hearing was Wednesday. The article lists each of the representatives' names, followed by the amount of money they've received from Planned Parenthood since 1998, according to the Center of Responsive Politics. I'll highlight the two that did the most talking at the beginning of the hearing. Representative Jan Schakowsky, since 1998, has received $11,865 from Planned Parenthood. Representative Diana DeGetti has received $36,735 from Planned Parenthood. Interestingly, Representative DeGetti, who made the ardent case that none of the provided exhibits were reliable, admitted in 2011 that she was a member of the board of directors for the Colorado Planned Parenthood for several years during the 1990s. I encourage all of you to take a look at the reports, at the hearing, at the videos, at the payouts, and be informed about what's really going on. Unfortunately, Planned Parenthood isn't active only at our national level right now. The abortion giant is wrapped up in a lawsuit in our own state over a new law Governor Pence signed in March, HEA 1337. Google that phrase, and your page will be flooded with angry articles decrying the law. I read through 7 of them yesterday, and what baffles me is what they cite as being so horrible. Here are a few quotes. Nuvo.com complains, Indiana does not allow a fetus to be aborted solely because of the fetus's race, color, national origin, ancestry, sex, or diagnosis or potential diagnosis of the fetus having Down syndrome or any other disability. Petitions.moveon.org also has their issues with the law. They're disgusted that HEA 1337 requires the state health department to develop information about perinatal hospice care for people whose pregnancies have been diagnosed with a lethal fetal anomaly. This is a hard and heartbreaking time for people, they say, and the information they receive should support them in making the best decisions for themselves, their health, and well-being. The same website also claims that HEA 1337 adds racist and judgmental prohibitions. The writers of the petition are angry because we're giving women more information, more time to think, more respect, and trying to protect people from discrimination. Last time I checked, those were all good, upright, and moral things to do. All the things that liberals claim to do, they should be thrilled that we're helping them. But they aren't thrilled, far from it. And we knew that they wouldn't be. Instead, they're spending money and time in a lawsuit represented by American Civil Liberties Union, arguing that we who are older are more valuable than those who are younger. Indiana Representative Sean Eberhart has been quoted all over the place as saying that HEA 1337 was a perfect example of a bunch of middle-aged guys sitting in this room making decisions about what we think is best for women, end quote. Rep. Eberhart also claims that he is, quote, as pro-life as they come, end quote. But he has missed what 1337 is about. Ask a man or woman from Silent No More awareness campaign.
giving women truthful information, for example, about hospice care for her unborn child, which allows her to avoid abortion and so avoid high risks of future miscarriage, breast cancer, substance abuse, and depression, is a kind thing to do. And a bunch of middle-aged guys sitting in a room making decisions that prevent discrimination against people who have no control over their circumstances is also a kind thing to do. But more importantly, it's the just thing to do. I'm sure that you've seen the pro-abortion advocates' rallies over HEA 1337 in the news. Thank you for coming out today and declaring with me that all humans are created equal and deserve protection.
Good morning. My name is Josh Birch. I'm the youth minister at Trinity Evangelical Church and formerly the director of outreach for Created Equal. I want to thank Advocates for Justice, Allen County Right to Life, and everybody else who had a part in putting together this rally, and of course all of you for coming out. I'm proud to be standing here with you this morning in opposition to Planned Parenthood. Of course, this protest was born largely out of the Center for Medical Progress videos that were released last year. Like all of you, I was appalled to learn that Planned Parenthood had been harvesting and selling the body parts of the children they were killing through abortion, and I find it appalling that they were taking this practice so far as to alter abortion methods in order to procure specific tissues and organs for which researchers were willing to pay top dollar. But we need to be clear. Our opposition to Planned Parenthood is not just that they are or have been trafficking the organs and tissue of the babies they kill through abortion. It is primarily that they are killing innocent preborn boys and girls through abortion. Abortion is wrong regardless of what happens to the babies after they are killed. If Planned Parenthood agreed to dispose of fetal remains in humane ways from now on, that would not be enough. We seek not just an end to the sale of fetal body parts, we seek an end to abortion in our land across the board. However, we recognize that this is likely going to be a long and difficult battle. Abortion is not going to end, and Planned Parenthood is not going to stop simply because we give up one Saturday morning a year to gather here and protest. If we are going to stop abortion, it is going to take sustained, consistent sacrifice by all of us. And so I want to challenge all of us here today to ask ourselves, have we been doing all that we could for the children? I would challenge us all to ask ourselves, what are we willing to give up? What are we willing to sacrifice to defend the right to life of these children? And finally, I would like to challenge all of us to resolve for ourselves to stay in this fight and to do our part either until abortion ends or until we are no longer able to do this work. God has called each of us to defend the defenseless and stand up for the rights of those who cannot speak for themselves. Will we avert our eyes and stop up our ears and cross on the other side of the road? Or will we answer the call? Thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers. Everyone did a great job. We're going to go back to holding signs now for a little bit. In 15 minutes, we will gather back here for a group prayer, and then you'll be dismissed. So thank you, everyone, for coming.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us all.